Pretty soon, you will no longer need a resume to get a job. You heard me. The death of the resume is here, but there is something that's going to replace it. And the sooner you know and understand this, the better off you're going to be. So if you don't have 30 seconds or more than 30 seconds, bookmark it and come back because I want to show you how to get rid of your resume and do something else instead. So where's this coming from? Well, I'm a 20-year career coaching veteran who used to work in staffing and recruiting. And in the last year, the recruiting industry has had a painful problem with fake resumes. See, AI, ChatGPT, all these tools, people are putting them through these and saying, match me to these job descriptions. And companies are getting resumes that look like an exact fit, only to get on the phone or in an interview with these people and find out they're not really as great as they say they are on paper. This has become a huge problem. Essentially, businesses no longer trust resumes, and that means they are dying. They will be dead before you know it. But how do they then evaluate you? Because historically, that's what we did, right? We read the facts on a piece of paper, but when they're not facts, the paper is worthless. Well, think about it. The next step after the resume was what? The interview. And the interview was there to validate you, or what we call provide evidence. See, there are phases of evidence that you have to provide through the hiring process for us to feel comfortable that you are what you say you are, that you can do the job, and that you're worth every penny. And that's why we have an interview process. If we didn't need that, then people would just get hired off a resume. But now, more than ever, companies are moving to evidence-based ways of making sure you really can do the job and you are who you say you are. So, what are they thinking about now? How to do the interview without having to talk to you. You heard me. If interviews are where you provide the evidence to prove you are who you say you are, companies are saying, well, skip the resume and let's just have the interview experience so that we know they are who they say they are before we actually bring them in for the second interview. Now, maybe you've already experienced this. There are companies out there that use something called asynchronous video. And what that means is they send you a link and you open it up and you get put on the spot and you answer questions. And then those go back and they decide if they want to interview you or not. The problem with that is you have no control over your brand. You don't get to choose the questions. You don't get to really choose what you're going to say. And it's not a really very fair way to do this. In fact, as a career coach, people always say to me, JT, if I could just talk to them, if I could just get in front of them, I could tell them what they need to hear from me to know I'm a fit for the job. So how do we make that happen? Instead of this crummy asynchronous video, what could you do to get your evidence in front of them proactively so that they could say, yeah, we should probably interview that person for the job? This is the difference. And the reality is you're already seeing it right here, right now. LinkedIn launched its video tab. We have TikTok. We have YouTube. Video is the way that people provide evidence. And so I know you don't want to become a social media star, and I'm not suggesting that all of a sudden you're going to have to do all this, but you need to understand that the future will be not you writing a resume, but you answering questions on camera and providing enough, right? Talking enough into a camera so that it can take all that information, categorize it, and store it. And then what's going to happen is recruiters will be able to search and it'll go out and it'll find the profiles of people who shared enough evidence to validate they can do the job. That kind of authentication is coming. I've seen it. The technology is amazing. I've mentioned phone apps like McCoy to you that's out there already. This stuff is real. And so the resume will be gone before you know it, and it'll be replaced with you having a conversation and answering questions as a way to, again, provide all the evidence so that recruiters can then search, find you, and match you. Now, in even more far out world, eventually there won't be job descriptions. Companies will just type the job description into the tool and it'll go out and find the people and make the match. So all of that will shift as well. But the first step in this process is the death of the resume and the rise of video-based evidence as a way to authenticate you're human and you know what you're talking about and that you have the expertise. That is coming, not in 10 years, not in 5 years, this year, my friends. You're going to see more and more and more of this. So if you're happy about the depth of the resume, that's great. If you're anxious about the fact that you're going to have to provide this evidence, don't worry, I got you. I wish I could work with everybody one-on-one, but I can't. So in 2025, my team and I put together an amazing free resource center. No credit card required. You just pop your email address in, and that's how I'm able to get to you with my live podcasts and $1,000 worth of proprietary training, all around this stuff so that you can understand and be on top of the trends so that you can get a job in which is one of the toughest job markets I've ever seen. So if this made sense to you so far and you want to keep learning stuff like this and you want to be on the forefront and you want to get the best opportunities, join the free resource center. It's linked over here, it's down here, and together we'll make sure that you put your best foot forward, and that it's less stressful, and that you get the job you want and deserve, okay? Good luck. Go get them.